Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing it again. We are doing a rare draft. So if you don't know how these work, I have to pick every rare every time I see one in a pack. This is going to be kind of an unusual one because Shadows Over Innistrad can have the, I guess theoretically, a triple rare, right? A foil rare, a flip rare, and a regular rare. So if I have a choice between rares, I get to pick whatever one I want. Otherwise, I have to draft every rare. If there's not a rare in the pack, I get to take whatever I want. This was definitely has been requested a lot in the last couple weeks on stream and in the comments, so I'm happy to do them. And Markov Dread Knight's a good place to start it off. Thanks for everybody. Thanks to everybody that tuned in this weekend to the stream. If you want to know my stream schedule, it's Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. I typically get up early and do it all day. So everybody that tunes in, I appreciate it. To continue explaining the rules, even though I do have to take this game trail here, we've sort of amended the rules of how it works as it's gone along, and I'm kind of cool with that. So I do have to take game trail here. I have to take every rare, but I don't necessarily have to play every rare. I'm going to try my best to play every rare, but for example, if I don't end up having to play any green or red, I'm not going to play game trail because then it's just hindering the deck. It's not doing any good. So if the rare actually has no purpose in the deck, I'm not going to play it. Like if it's an unplayable rare, there's some that are pretty unplayable. Like Harness of Storms, if I have no duplicates in my deck, I'm not going to play it. I will take it, though. So that's kind of explaining how it's going to work. Let's take the game trail here. All right, Nephalia Moondrake. Now, here's the thing. Like, playable rares like Moondrakes and Markov Dread Knight, I could still very easily end up in a 4 or 5 color deck. And then, in which case, Game Trail would actually be good. So I still have to play playable rares like Moondrakes and Dread Knight. I just probably will not play Harness of Storms unless I get a bunch of duplicates. All right. Let's take the Moondrake. All right, to the slaughter. There we go. Making it happen. Those Planeswalkers aren't going to know what hit them. As long as I can get Delirium. All right, this off to a decent start. Blue-black. Oh my god, I get to make a pick. All right, what do we want? Might want the Scrutiny. Seems like something that could help buy some time. I mean, Tenacity is the strongest card. But what's kind of unfortunate is we're a little bit locked into... We've got a double blue and a double black spell already. And there's no mana fixing in here. Could just take the Murderer's Axe, I guess. The double color spells are going to be a problem. I guess we'll take the Scrutiny. All right. Get a pick again, which is good. Sleep Paralysis versus Rancid Rats and a Throttle. Probably want the Paralysis. There's also a Geist Blast in here. I like Rats a lot, actually. But I think I'm going to take the Paralysis. It's pretty hard removal for blue. I mean, there's also Throttle, but I think Sleep Paralysis deals with slightly more things. All right, no rare in here. We'll probably just take the Observer at this point. Start to go fairly deep blue. I mean, we definitely want to cut these colors off as best we can. Loam Dryad does technically fix, but I'd prefer to just... I think Sound Observer is going to be pretty useful for considering what our top end already looks like. All right, got to take the Drownyard Temple. Don't necessarily have to play it once again. But I guess it does synergize with Dread Knight, so maybe I do have to play it. We'll find out. All right, take a Ghoul Steed. Not bad, certainly playable. I think we actually want the Stone Quarry here. If we end up having to play red and white, we're definitely going to want some... We want our fixing to be good. And I'm just basically passing a Deny Existence and Merciless Resolve, with her, which are both fine. But Stone Quarry could be really useful if we end up with some, you know, white or red rare. Maybe both. All right. Ooh, actually here I might want the Accomplice. It's also a catalog. I think we're going to take Accomplice. It's pretty playable. And we want to make sure we've got enough early game here. All right. Second Observer over the catalog here. Somehow managed to end up in cutting the colors off that our rares just happened to be. So that was convenient. All right. Guess we'll take a Structural Distortion. Yeah, Vessel Volatility, sure. All right. Epiphany at the Drown Yard. Well, I'll take an on-color rare. Passing, Censor, Corpse Trawler, Geist, Crow, Cathar. Whatever. Gotta take the rares. This one is definitely playable. Ah, Devil's Playground. Well, welcome into a Grixis deck. Let's see what happens after that. Another double color spell is not exactly what we're looking for, but it is what we're doing. Well, maybe the Game Trail and the Stone Quarry will still come up huge for us. Ah, Choked Estuary, but we also have Thing in the Ice. I think we want the Thing in the Ice, honestly. Although, what do we have to... A Scrutiny, a Slaughter, a Playground, an Epiphany. It's almost like just a good blocker for us, but it's got some pretty high upside. Mana Fixing would definitely be welcome too, I guess, though. But I'm pretty sure we want this Thing in the Ice since it blocks. At worst, it's a 2-mana 0/4, which in a deck like this actually seems like something that would be pretty useful. It's also worth more than Choked Estuary. Not that that should influence me, but it does. All right, we're taking Thing in the Ice. Engulf the Shore. All right, well, all the blue rares. That's nice. I don't know how much we're going to be able to bounce with it, but maybe that's good. Maybe it'll somehow flip Thing in the Ice. We'll see. Taking the rares. I really want that Scarecrow. We're gonna need that Scarecrow. All right, we get to make a pick here. So, Warped Landscape, there is a Purge. We have Stone Quarry. To play the Purge. Maybe we want the Purge. I mean, what's our hard removal currently? A Sleep Paralysis? Probably. Maybe we find the Warped Landscape later. It's a pretty premium card to find here. Purge is pretty nice, and it still works with Thing in the Ice. Alright, I think we're actually taking Purge here. It's pretty strong. All the Purges? I'll take them. There's a Geist Blast too, which is actually kind of good if we're already in deep in blue, but what am I sacking to Purge? I guess I didn't really think that one through, did I? I guess a land at some point. There's also a True Faith Censor, like I said. I could take the Geist Blast. It's weak anyway you slice it. Let's just take the Purge. All the Purges. You can play all the Purges. You can. Now I kind of wish I'd taken the second Stone Quarry. What did I take? I took an Accomplice. Might not have been worth it. Whatever. Taking Purge. Alright, I won't play more than 3 Purges. Hey! Highland Lake. There's the land we need. Taking it. Over Stormrider Spirit. Forsaken Sanctuary. You know what? We are doing it. There is a Corpse Trawler in here and a Crow and playable cards, but this land is my land. This land is your land. We're coming together here. We might actually want the Mentor. I know it doesn't synergize with anything, but otherwise, I guess I could take Nagging Thoughts. It works with Thing in the Ice. Could help me find things, maybe. I guess it kind of works with Dread Knight. I only have 7 creatures. I don't have any other... No, that's not true. I do have one other vampire. I think I'm actually going to take the Nagging Thoughts. I don't know if that's right. Mentor is certainly playable in here. So, it looks like Drownyard Temple is actually going to make the deck now with triple Angelic Purge. We have some serious incentive. Alright, we play Macabre Waltz. It brings back our actual bomb threats. And I don't need anything else. And it works with Thing in the Ice. This deck is actually kind of doing it. I mean, granted, we have a Devil's Playground, which is extremely awkward here. But we have Highland Lake and Stone Quarry to fix for it, I guess. Hey, Skeleton. You're in, my friend. You also have synergy with Angelic Purge. These purges ended up looking really good, actually. Sure, we'll take an Ox. Probably not playing it. So, it looks like Drownyard Temple is good enough for the deck. Works with, like, Ghoulsteed and Dread Knight. Purges. Works really well with Purge. Like I said, so does Skeleton. But, whatever. How many spells do we have now for Thing in the Ice? I feel like we have enough where we should be feeling good, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not a bad spell count. I mean, our deck wants some more creatures. We do have some big-time finishers. Devil's Playground's kind of a creature too, I guess. Already 4-color. Are we going to be 5-color and make this game trail exist in our deck? At least we're base blue-black. Like, we've got our base colors established, which is good. Welcome to the fold. Welcome to the fold. Oh man, Lightning Axe would be good too. Although, whatever. We'll steal some creatures. Is there any way to make it really cool in here? I guess it works with Dread Knight, sort of. I need a lot of mana. I think we're going to be playing an 18-lander. Pretty good chance of that at this point. But that's alright. Welcome to the fold. Oh no. Wait a second. I don't have to play this, right? For each token you control, put a token on the battlefield. That's a copy of that permanent. I have 1 card that makes a token. I don't think we're playing that one. If I had more token cards, I'd consider it. Instead, I have to waste my pick here over much better cards. But we do have to take the rares. That is part of the rules here. But yeah, Second Harvest does not much. All right, Gorger, on the other hand, can actually be played. So we're going to take and play that very awkwardly. Our Splash Color 1-drop with no... Well, we're going to Madness out a Dread Knight at some point, maybe. It works. I love how Second Harvest works with 1 card in our deck. The Ghoul Caller's Accomplice. Not enough to justify it, sorry. No, I guess it does work with Devil's Playground. Still not enough to justify it. Alright, here we get to make a pick. Could take the Tooth Collector. We've got Purge. I'm trying to think how easy it is to get Delirium. It's probably not super easy. Nagging Thoughts, I guess. So we've got Sorceries, we've got Instant. We've got Instant. Instants and Sorceries, and that's it. I don't think Delirium's happening. We might just want the Murderous Compulsion. Just give us more removal. Not that we are missing removal. We actually have a decent amount. And we are obviously light on creatures, but you can count Welcome to the Fold and Devil's Playground as creatures, sort of. Right? Man, got some crazy weather going on right now. Yeah, Tooth Collector's not bad. Maybe I'll just need it. I kind of like the Compulsion, but we're going to take the Collector. I feel like if we don't have enough creatures, we're definitely going to lose. So I can take the second Forsaken Sanctuary. Otherwise, I'm taking like a Pale Rider or a Press Friend. I think I'm actually taking the Sanctuary. We have 3 Purges to fix for, and our deck is already sort of in an awkward place, so let's just take it. Alright, so we can play Tenacity, technically. Or we can take a Noble or a Stallion of Ashmouth. Or a Behind the Scenes. None of which are insane. We probably want a creature. Let's take the Noble. Alright, Rats is actually a big pickup for us, so we're going to take that. Like I said, I think we're going to end up 18 lands. So we're going to have to figure out some non-rare cards to cut, which I don't think should be too difficult. The only awkward rares we're playing really are Gorger and Playground. And yeah, Second Harvest is not happening. As much as you guys want to see me completely turn this into the worst draft ever, I'm not going to play Second Harvest. Which means we're also not playing Game Trail, I suppose. So I could take Epitaph Golem simply because it's like a colorless spell. I could take Furtive Homunculus because it's cheap. But if we're playing 18 lands, maybe I would prefer to have a little bit more top end. I mean, we already have to make cuts. There's Blood Mad Vampire too, which is pretty good, but... I'm actually going to take the Golem, get another little bit of top end. Foul Orchard, I guess not necessary, especially if we're not playing a Second Harvest, which we're not. So I might just take the Farbog Revenant. Blocks, it's a relatively cheap creature. Nagging Thoughts #2 or Hound of the Farbogs. Guess they're both kind of unnecessary. Nagging Thoughts with Thing in the Ice is good. Alright, well, get a Hound anyway. So we have a lot of cuts to make, but we have a lot of rares to play, so we're in a relatively challenging spot here. I guess a good reason to take Epitaph Golem is we can actually make... It's possible to get Tooth Collector Delirium now, which is good, because I think it wasn't possible before. Shard. There's a Lamplighter, I guess. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play the Shard either, I suppose. So we have some serious cuts to make, and I think it's unfortunately got to end up being a lot of non-rare cards. Third to last pick, Pale Rider is something. Alright. We still end up playing a ton of rares, so don't you folks worry about that. And Drownyard Temple is going to make it. I would say there's enough justification for Drownyard Temple with triple Angelic Purge, but there's not enough for Second Harvest with 2 cards that it works with. And yes, I know, some of you guys want me to sabotage this draft, but I'm not going to. We're going to actually try play as many rares as possible while still actually having a deck that can win. So I got to cut a lot of creatures, I think, because if we just were... Let's just set our rares to the side that are definitely in the deck. So that way it'll just make it easier to know what we can and cannot cut. All of these are good enough for the deck. As much as I loathe to think that Falconwrath Gorger is good enough for the deck, it is in fact playable at least, so we're going to do that. A 1-mana 2/1 at least can kill my opponent, unlike stupid Second Harvest piece of garbage. Alright, so these guys can't get cut, right? Is there a rare I'm missing? I don't think so. I think we probably cut the Hound to start it off. Maybe the Pale Rider. Although Pale Rider, I guess, does work with Nagging Thoughts, which is kind of cool. This seems like it's going to be challenging. Maybe we just... Well... Do I have enough spells for Thing in the Ice? I do have to be conscious of that as well. I can cut the Pale Rider. I guess it also has synergy with Skeleton and the Drownyard Temple, though. Which is kind of cool, actually. Maybe we should keep it. Then I really don't know what to cut, though. Maybe we don't need the Macabre. If I cut these 3, I still have Playground, Epiphany, and Golf, 4, 5. So I have 5 rare instants and sorceries for Thing in the Ice. On top of 9, 12. So we have 12 total in the deck. We'd take it down to 9 if I cut these 3, which is significant. But like I said, we can think of Thing in the Ice as a 2-mana 0/4, which is also just fine in this deck. Although we're a little bit light on evasion, I admit. Revenant, Rats, Observers, and then our rares. But our rares are pretty big time. And I do actually want to do Triple Purge in here, I'm pretty sure. Macabre Waltz is something I'd prefer to not cut. Maybe I keep the Waltz and I cut the Scrutiny. I want to be able to get our bombs back. It's pretty important we, you know, can play our Dread Knight and Moondrake. Get them back if they get killed. I think that's going to be important. So why don't we cut the 2 Nagging Thoughts? They just seem like they can get cut without much loss. Maybe the Scrutiny too. And then we still have to make 3 more cuts if we want to run 18 lands, which I feel like is probably a good idea with a 4-color deck. 3 more cuts. Maybe the Pale Rider does get the boot. Could I get away with 17 lands in this monstrosity? Might be able to. Maybe I cut the Golem for that reason. Ghoulsteed is a little bit more late game useful. And yes, I understand we're getting a little bit creature light here, but I think that's not too important. So really our curve is not that bad. Wow. Yeah, that was a little bit of thunder. Alright, our curve's not that bad. Our curve is really weird, actually. Our deck is looking very strange. A lot of black early, and then our blue in the mid-game. So it's like, how are we doing this mana base? The problem is Drownyard Temple, sort of, you know? Drownyard Temple's sort of hurting the mana base. What's the weakest 23rd card in here? We have 14 creatures with Devil's Playground, right? And welcome to the... So we really still have 15 creatures, which means I could afford to cut 1 more creature. Maybe it's the Vampire Noble. Just because it's whatever. Honestly, it would be the Gorger, but since the Gorger's rare, and I'm trying to play as many as possible, I think we might just cut the Noble. Alright, this is something. This is something. Alright, so Highland Lake is in, Stone Quarry's in, Double Sanctuary. So our white sources are actually good. We could probably get away with 1 Plains. Although, we didn't get the Warped Landscape I wanted, did we? Oh well. We need at least... we need like 5 or 6 red. Thankfully our blue and black aren't too bad. Which means... What does that mean? It means I probably just want 1 Plains, 4 Plains for 3 white spells. I'm going to hope that's enough. Or 4 white sources, I should say. And then... I think we need at least 5 red, which means if I go like this, this is 5 blue, 6 black. Wait, is this even right? 5, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I can add 1 more land. I guess we probably want Oh, man. Slightly more black. So 7 black, 5 blue. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I need the black early, though, and I need the blue a little bit later. So I might just... Oh, get away with 5 blue? That's pretty bad. Maybe I just accept that our red spells are coming way late. Up the blue to 6. I mean, we need to hit that blue. And we need double blue, too. We need double red as well. Man. This is awkward. I don't know what I expected. It's an awkward mana base. Not much to say. It's an awkward mana base. Alright, well, obviously not the best deck I've ever drafted, but this is what a rare draft is all about, I guess. So let's do a final rare count here. So we've got the Drownyard Temple, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So a fourth of our deck is rares. Yeah, I'm very happy we're not playing Second Harvest and Game Trail. That would have really hurt this deck even more than it is already very much hurting. So here you go. Rare draft, 4 color. See how she does. We'll see you round 1.